Record. Okay. To start a project, first the requirement is okay for us after everything set up by I mean the environment, everything. Okay. Then we need a file. Hmm? So file, how we will get that file? Okay. There are two types we may get. One is .zip file or normal text file. Okay. TXT file. Sometimes I mean, not only text, it may be CSV. Okay, generally views data. Okay, one more thing, views data always will be under okay .txt hmm, or .csv or .dat file hmm, or warc file, hmm, avro file or JSON file hmm, or parquet file for a views file for views files. For normal file, normal, I mean limit of data 1 lakh, 2 lakh, like you may get in Excel. Okay. It depending on the generally any transaction dimension files, okay, and fact files, those will be under a zip file or TXT file. Okay. So here first, right, as I mentioned, for a project to start, if you take anything you can take. For example, I'll take the uh, mm, orders data because order is common, or you can create a you can order is a common for any project, right? Because if you are selling a mobiles, if you are selling any books, if you are selling anything which is you are selling, so it will be created as a order, right? Even if you see in a Flipkart, right? In Flipkart also you can get, you have to order first, then only they will deliver, right? So similarly this order, okay, the table you need to create. Before that you need to know in order what are the fields will be there, right? So let's go into Google and see do we get any something in the table. Okay. Table details. Let's see. You see, order ID, product ID, quantity, huh? Like we can create it. Okay. So in order, first, you will get the file mapping document. Okay. So that file mapping document, how it will be, that I will show you now. Okay. Here is okay. Under the field name or column name, huh? data type, data type, hmm? and the length, huh? Primary key, okay, no, null or not null, null or not null, hmm? Okay, like this. So you'll have the column, the name of like this, okay, field name, and here order ID, order ID, hmm? It's a always order ID is, for example, number, and the length is 50, for example. Not means we will not get more than 20 generally. And is it primary key? Yes. And it is not null? Yes, not null. Like this. Again, huh? Order ID and then order date again. Huh? Order date, order date, and order date always date format. Huh? Order date, and this length will be always 10. And yes, not a, it's not a primary key. No. Okay. No. And not null. Yes. Yes. Again, order ID, order date. Huh? Uh, Product ID again, because that also important, right? Product ID also we need. And I'll just explain a few columns, then we will see. Okay. So order ID also varchar. Okay. Varchar, and the length will be 30. Huh? No. Yes. Yes. Something like this. Something like this. Your file mapping document will be 1 second. Huh? Okay. So this is one example, okay? Like this, you will have many fields. So when we log in Snowflake, I'll show you the order columns, okay? Hmm? First, you will get the file name like this file mapping document, okay? Using this file mapping document, what you need to do, you need to define a what is my primary key column and what is your non-primary columns. By selecting this, you can able to filter this. So if you select yes, yes, this is the your primary column. Which are not primary key columns, yes, you can select this one. Okay. So by using this, you can identify which is a primary key, which is not primary. Hmm? Okay. So like this, the file mapping document will be created. Okay. Then after you getting this file mapping document, and you will get this some sample data also, because we need to request some sample data before we create a table. Okay. Before we need to see what will be our sample data. Then what you have to do? So you got the file name, for example, and based on the file mapping document, what you have to do? You have to create your table. How you will be going to create a table? I'll show you. See. Okay. Concat, column name, uh, comma, one space, comma, and data type number, for example, comma, and then in open bracket, now, okay, and the length like this. See how I'm going to create logic. See, I created like this. So if I drag this one, you'll get. Now, what I will do, I'll use this one and I'll create a table here. Simple. Create table stage underscore orders. Open bracket and give a comma table. See, that's it. I created it in shortcut way. So once you write a logic here, then if you drag it, if you have a here means I have a only 3 columns. Now, if I have 100 columns, if I have a 200 columns, then I cannot copy this column and the number and take this open bracket and close bracket and create a schema, right? I cannot able to do. It will take more than 1 day for me to complete like this. So what I have done, I have just written a logic, okay, equal to concatenation. So like this, so how I want, this is my output. I want like this output. So to get a output, I have done like this. Okay. Just created a logic. So if I click below, right? If I click here, then how many columns? So now you see, I'll add one more column, customer ID, huh? And it is also varchar, and length is 30, and no, uh, for example, yes. Then if I just drag right here, if I click here, it will create automatically because the logic will apply for each column. So what I will do, I'll copy again, simple, hmm, comma, at the end I'll create a one more column. See, simple. So you take this table and execute in your Snowflake. Simple. That's it. Like this, we need to create a table. Okay. So no need to worry how many columns are there. Okay. You no need to worry. How you can smartly can create a table, how you smartly take the columns, that is very important. Okay. That how you have to practice. If you practice like this, then it is easy for you to survive. So first, once we get the file, hmm, first once we get the file, using that file, then what we do, we will first load the data. See, I'm going to now explaining the data flow, how my file is moving from where to where, and where my file will be stored. That is important. So now I'm loading the data from file to my stage table, stage underscore customer. Okay, stage underscore orders. I create order, right? So this is my file is order. And what I have to do, step one. For in the step one, I have to load the data from file to stage table. So here always my table status is flush and fill. Always flush and fill. It is nothing but it is a truncate and load. Truncate and load. Okay, this flow we need to create. So now how we need to do means, it is very simple. For example, you have a file here. Under file, for example, you have a order ID, and order date, okay, and product ID. For example, I'll take one example. Under this, I have a 123, and the date is 10/08/2024, and the product ID is ABC, for example. So I have a like this two records. Hmm? For example, I have a data like this. Then when I have created a table, right? My table is what? Always flush and fill. So whenever I load the data from file to table, then always my table has to truncate before loading this data. Okay. So here my table is stage underscore orders. Okay, orders. So always. So for example, today I got the data of 127. For example, here 127 and here 128. Then when I run the job, what my job has to do? My job has to override this data like this always. Okay, this is how I have to create a folder. I have to create a flow, data flow. So this is first my step what I have to do. After that, okay, from stage 2, because uh, I have to load the data into till my final table, right? So I am going to implement now SCD type 1. SCD type 1. I'm going to apply the SCD type 1. So here first step is I have to create a stage table, and from file to stage table I am loading entire data without doing any filter conditions. Now consider I have another flow where I have to filter some data. Then using this stage order as a source, okay, using stage order as a source, I have to load the data into stage underscore order underscore derived table under derived table. So this is my another stage table. So where I am going to store the data. Here, what on the same incremental data, it will be stored here, right? And using as a source, I will load the data into my derived table. Here I do some transformations. Okay, transformations. I do some transformations here. Once I do the transformation, what I will do, I will load the data from this table. Okay, again this table to my final table. Okay, my final table is fact underscore orders. Okay, this is my fact table, and here I will load the data. How? SCD type 1. So under SCD type 1, there are two ways we can do. One is delete and insert. This is one way we can able to do the SCD type 1, or else update, else insert, like this. So I will prefer always delete and insert. I will prefer. Okay, I don't want to use this update and update else insert. I will use always delete and insert. For that, what I will do? It means what I will do in file, I will get delete transaction and as well as insert transaction. How to identify means in my file mapping document, I will get the okay uh, record status. I'll get the record status. Okay, that is always varchar. And the length is always 1. Primary key, no, but it is a normal column. Okay. See, automatically my column got created here. You see, logic. So record status means what? It is just, it says, okay, whether if it is a insert, whether it is a insert, it will give you the new record insert. Again, it is a insert. If there is any change happen, then it will give you the update. Okay, here it will give update. And if it is completely a delete transaction, you will get a delete. This is called IUD flag. IUD flag. This flag is, it says, if it is a new record, it will create a I. If it is a update record, then it will create a U. If it is a delete transaction, it will create a delete. Like this, you will get IUD. Insert, update, and delete. Okay. So what we will do here before we start this one, once we start the data under stage order, what we do here before loading the data into a stage derived table, we will apply filter condition to take only record status equal to, okay, not equal to D. Not equal to D means what? Either you will get insert record, either you will get update record, right? Okay, so like this, what I am going to do, I will be loading the data under this table. And once it is done, then what I will do, and the next step, using the stage order, okay, using the stage order, I will delete the data in my fact table, fact underscore orders table. How? After applying record status equal to D. So first I will delete the data from the fact table, and then I will insert this data, okay, from the this table. I will keep only the updated records here. Okay. So if it is update, I will update. If it is insert, I will insert. Like this, what we do, we will create all the records. And then what we do, okay, this delete record also, I have to keep it. Okay, I have to keep it, this delete record also. So that for that, what I have to do, I have to create a separate table for the delete. So I'm going to use this because this is very important, which is I need to store the data so that I can send the delete data to my downstream system as well. So this is how we need to create a flow. Okay, step one is this one, and step two is to load the data into data table, and step 3 is delete the data from fact table, hmm, and step 4 is load the data again into a fact table, like this. So once you apply this one, this is only for one file, one fact table load. So we need to create this entire steps. If it is failed third step, then you need to run from third step. If it is failed in second step, you need to run from second step to till fourth step until unless this gets completed. Okay. So now we have to create this way to complete, I mean to implement our SCD type 1. Okay. This is how we need to do this implementation. Then only you are successfully able to complete your project. This is one example. Okay, like this, we will have a many files. Sometimes we may need to create a SCD type 2. Sometimes we may need to create SCD type 1 itself. Uh, that depends on your project. Okay. This is just explanation, and tomorrow we will start using the file. I till that time I'll take some sample file. I will find out from where somewhere I'll get it in online itself, and I'll download those file, and using that file we will generate the SCD type 1. Okay. So this is how we need to start our project. In real time also it is the same. There is no difference in the process. Okay. So in real time you will have hundreds of tables. Here we are just going to practice 10 or 20 tables. Okay. Any questions here?
No,
Hello.
no,
Clear?
no, na. Clear,
Okay.
clear.
Yeah. So tomorrow same time 6:30 please be available, and we will start maximum. I'll try to complete tomorrow this loading the data from file to table, and before that what we do, we will use the DBT cloud. Hmm? We will use that DBT cloud to implement, because in cloud we maximum use the DBT cloud only, right? So using that we will practice there itself. Okay, for that we need to log in again. So tomorrow we will spend some more, one more hour extra. Then we will try to close this. Okay.